2K Sports is making NFL games
yes.
again, but there's a pretty big catch.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of the NFL, then you're probably familiar with EA's stupid-ass Madden series, my words, which has been the only game in town for what feels like forever. Sadly, EA series has skipped the Switch entirely, which means unless you have a PS4 or Xbox One, you're missing out on that lovely gridiron action. It wasn't always this way, though. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, there were several challengers with which all benefited from the official NFL license, meaning a lot more variety across all hardware platforms. One of those franchises was the superb NFL 2K series, which began life on the Sega Dreamcast. It lasted up until ESPN NFL 2K5 in 2004, after which point EA locked down the NFL license deal and prevented any other company from using it, which is where we are today. Things are about to change, however. 2K Sports has announced that it has inked a new deal, a multi-year deal with the NFL that will allow it to produce multiple future video games based on the sport, all backed by the official NFL license. Before you get too excited, however, it's worth noting that the deal only covers non-simulation football game experiences, which means that NFL 2K revival isn't on the cards. Instead, multiple video games centered on fun, approachable, and social experiences are the order of the day, hinting that we could see arcade-style titles like NBA 2K Playgrounds 2 or NFL Blitz. Given the casual, lighthearted nature of these games and 2K's historic support of the console, you'd have to imagine that they'd come to the Switch. So it is a very big deal that the NFL is letting another developer have its license. Because since 2005, EA has been the only game in town.
I wonder if Madden hasn't been doing good.
I don't know, because it's the only game in town, it's been fairly consistent in terms of like sales and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's nowhere else to turn. 2K tried once to put out a football game without the NFL license. It was called All Pro Football 2K8. It didn't sell very well, but it got some good reviews because it had a lot of unique things in it that Madden wouldn't put in for a couple of years. But now that somebody else has their hand like on the NFL license, that's good because we'll have different types of games. We'll have different variety out there. Because I don't know about you, I don't personally like simulation style sports games. I much more prefer NFL Blitz.
Well, we don't care about like the roster,
Yeah,
but there's a lot of people who do.
Yeah,
and that's why they buy
fine.
Madden
But if that's the only thing you're allowed to play,
yeah,
like that's boring as hell. It doesn't help that like the NFL, like when EA tried to bring NFL Blitz back, the NFL put like all these rules in place. Like you can't like pile drive the guy. You can't do like end zone dances and stuff. Like they neutered it basically.
So the NFL had to do that because it already gets a lot of crap for being too violent.
Yeah.
So they're like, listen, if you're gonna, we're already giving people major brain injuries. We can't have you pile drive the other team. Also, they have their own rules about celebrations in the end zone.
Yeah.
How do you know so much about NFL games? You don't play them.
I know so much about this era.
Okay.
Because it was very fascinating. So because there's a whole story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is like because you had NFL 2K and Madden during that generation of console, PS2, original Xbox, and GameCube. And they were like sort of ping pong back and forth. Like Madden was always like up top and 2K was like always like right below them. And then, but like 2K was always like the better reviewed game, but Madden was the better seller. And then in 2004, they put out Madden 05, same ass Madden game as every year. And then NFL ESPN 2K5 came out for $20 and was, reviewed just as well, if not better, than all the previous 2K games. Many people to this day consider it the best football game ever made. And because it was only $20, it outsold Madden by leaps and bounds. Everybody was buying that game. So to compete, EA went to the NFL, threw all the money at them, and bought the rights to the exclusive rights to the NFL contract.
Somebody needs to stop E3, EA.
Yeah.
E3 and EA.
Yeah. So it's fascinating to me. You know, that story has always been fascinating to me.
Really, 2K was the only competition for EA.
At the time, yeah.
Well, it's the only like one that could actually compete.
Yeah. If you want to get technical, Midway was still around at the time, so they were making NFL Blitz, but it wasn't the same thing as like ESPN and 2K and Madden.